I'd see him sitting on that couch all day long, just staring at that Hollywood hogwash.
Our favorite show was Hollywood Hogwash.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Hollywood Hogwash. I'm Andrew Pisano, along with my brother Joe Pisano, Josh Reese, and Aaron Rosa. It's a four-man podcast.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been a while since we've done this, right?
I think it's been a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
we
here
got
we are
Aaron
now.
Rosa, the birthday boy.
Birthday boy.
How does
Fucking
it-
old.
How does it feel to be 42?
Everything hurts and I'm dying.
Slowly, dying slowly, okay? Jesus. Still
Yeah,
look good, still look good.
So this is interesting because ever since we started this podcast, Josh Reese has been saying, let's review Demolition Man. Let's review Demolition
Right?
Man.
Right.
And I was like, I've never seen it. I don't know like how popular it is really because like here's the thing. This movie's awesome.
Yes.
amazing.
I saw it for the first time last night.
If there
and-
was ever a time to listen to Josh.
I mean, Joe, Joe being my brother and all, like, he's told me to watch so many movies in my life, but why have you never told me to watch this movie?
I'm sure
That's
I have.
crazy.
And Aaron,
I'm
what
sure
the
I
fuck,
have.
Aaron?
well, dude, as a
Bullshit.
guy that
I call bullshit.
as a guy that grew up watching all of Arnold's movies, I just can't imagine how you wouldn't have seen this.
Yeah.
Like a kid growing up in the 80s that didn't watch the Goonies. Like it's just assumed.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. I was born in 86. So when did Goonies come out?
Well, no, I'm
When I
just
was
saying,
like,
that's like saying a kid that grew up in the 80s didn't watch the Goonies. It's like,
okay.
how could that have happened?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. I mean,
I think it's just
It was
Andrew
crazy
being
to hear
like
that.
7 when this movie came out or whatever. Like you sometimes you miss your chance. Like there's a lot of great movies that came out when I was 7 that I won't go back because I just don't like those 70s type of movies, but they're great. Right? They're all-time greats.
I know, and I'm
I think
watching
it just-
this. I'm like,
that happened
Ace,
to him.
I'm like, Ace Ventura came out the same year as this movie.
Really?
God,
Wow.
So weird.
Well, your priorities were different. Went Jim Carrey
Well,
instead
our
of
mom,
Sylvester Stallone.
our mom did not let us watch rated R movies like ever.
I'm sure if she
And if
saw this,
I was
she'd be
18,
mortified.
Yeah, I was 18, so of course I was allowed to watch it, but he wasn't. So I can see where that just kind of skipped Andrew. But yeah, this movie's amazing. There's so much greatness about this movie, and it's like early '90s when like nothing was. There was no idea that was too big for the
Right,
'90s.
Yeah.
Yes.
Two guys take their faces and switch them.
Yeah, and-
this
and-
one freeze everybody, freeze them, and throw them in the future.
And you could do or say whatever you want, and no one's gonna be offended.
No one
anymore.
cared.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
early
was
90s.
back in the day before Finch started really happening.
Yeah, like Tarantino said it best. He's like, he's such a like film historian, and he talks about how like each decade it's like flip flopped. He's like the '80s you couldn't do anything, and then like the '90s like Reservoir Dogs kind of like kicked that into gear with some offensive shit, and then they were like, all right, it's cool to be offensive, and then even wrestling, the Attitude Era,
Yeah.
and right now in the 2020s we're just in a shitty time where you can't do anything.
No one knows humor.
Unless I'm missing something, this has got to be Stallone's non-Rocky high watermark, right? Like, what's a better non-Rocky movie he made?
Well, Rambo was non-Rocky. If you're talking about like how good the movie is. You're talking about like
yeah,
like
about how
best grossing.
good, like about memorable.
Yeah, I mean,
like
he's-
is Rambo memorable
This is
versus
so
this?
This is so sly. I think for
amazing.
people a little older than us,
Aaron.
it is.
Put some respect on Cliffhanger, please. Come on.
I was gonna say Judge Dredd. What do you? Yeah.
Judge Dredd. So Ace Ventura actually came out in '94, but still a year later.
Yeah.
Still, just that timeline is crazy.
You could do anything.
Oh my god,
Anything.
movie's hilarious. And
Yes.
like, here's the other
great.
thing. Like, I've never really watched many movies with Wesley Snipes. And I'm watching this. I'm like, is this why everyone thinks Wesley Snipes is awesome?
Yeah.
Because he's so good. He's basically the Joker.
He's the
in this
Joker, yeah.
movie.
Simon
Yeah.
says, bitch.
Yeah.
No, you got to understand. The first Blade, I love when him as Blade. I think
Yeah.
that's a great movie. And then he's also did stuff where he jumps out of the plane, Passenger 57.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
And then what's the other one where he plays the hero? Like he's good. He was good at what he did back then, a 90s action star.
Right.
And in this movie, he chose they wanted Jackie Chan, couldn't get him, so they got Wesley Snipes.
Really?
Yeah.
They
Yes.
wanted Jackie Chan
And
to
the
be
reason he
bad
didn't
guy?
do it is because he's like, I don't do bad guy.
Right.
And in Hong Kong and everything, like where he was from, it's like you don't change to bad guy to good guy to bad
He
guy.
didn't want to
and also,
confuse
like-
fans.
But
Yeah.
like he did, like Jackie Chan didn't even start learning English till Rush Hour.
That didn't bother
Like
Arnold.
they even had to yeah, that's true. But like, oh my God, thank God they didn't do Jackie Chan. It would have been a completely different movie.
Right. There would have had such a fun tone to it.
Oh yeah,
And there's a
for
Jackie
sure.
Chan reference in the movie.
I'll get to it later, but there's a webpage that I found that like top things that Demolition Man got right.
Yeah.
But one of them was that it predicted that Wesley Snipes would become a criminal.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, we're gonna recap Demolition Man in full later, but first we have to thank a brand new patron on the Hollywood Hogwash Patreon, and thank you to Muscles Marinara.
Hey,
Yes.
He's also a patron on the What's Wrong with Wrestling,
Pasta Primavera, dude.
obviously. But no, the Muscles Marinara is a Sopranos joke. That's what Tony calls that big bodyguard that he has.
Oh, right, that's
He's like,
right.
hey, Muscles Marinara, get over here.
Wait, go back,
hilarious.
Christopher.
Wait, the one that Tony beats the fuck out
Yes, yeah.
of? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he called because it was funny because I always figured the Muscles Marinara thing was the Hogan thing with the
Yeah.
Pasta Mania,
Right.
but then I was rewatching Goodfellas and I was like, oh my God, it's from that. Like, yeah, it was hilarious. So
That's awesome.
Thank you, Muscles Marinara, for doubling down on both Patreons.
Yeah.
You can go to patreon.com/Hollywood Hogwash. It's only $3 a month. You can cancel anytime. We're currently we're finishing up Loki. We watched the last 2 episodes, and that podcast should be coming out really soon. And wow, what a great final 2 episods that we're so go check it out.
Craziness.
Patreon.com/Hollywood Hogwash. And then we're moving on to season 2 of Invincible. And also like What If is coming out. Season 2 of What If is coming out like
Oh my
in
God.
December. Like what we have a
Jeez.
lot of shit.
And when do the
then
boys
Echo
come
and
back?
Echo?
Don't
We
the
don't-
boys come back in a little bit?
I don't think they've set an official
They
day
haven't.
yet.
Okay.
But like we have to watch Gen V before we even get to the boys.
I know.
Because apparently it's all tied in. So
Yeah, yep.
holy shit, we have a lot of stuff to watch. So watch it with us at patreon.com/Hollywood Hogwash. Now on to the news and rumors, aka the Hollywood Hogwash. So the actor strike is finally over.
I know. So many of my Houston actor friends are just like so excited that they can get back to work.
Oh.
Even though they've kind of been working
Right.
this whole time.
Yeah, I mean, there's no union here.
No, there's no union here.
I do want to take credit for ending the actor strike.
Oh.
One day after I tagged so many studios saying I am now ready to become a scab actor,
Yeah. Oh.
the next day they
yes.
announced
It's true.
They're
the
like, oh,
strike was
shit.
over.
I was like, let's
That's
do it.
it.
Let's do it, bro. And then they're like, oh, God, no.
So
It's
No,
funny
and-
because
Yeah.
John Cena, when the actor strike happened, John Cena's like, okay, I could be back for 2 months. And then after Crown Jewel, after this date, I'm done. And then like 3 days later, the strike ends.
Weird.
So like he just knew when it was going to end.
Yeah, but is that how he's ending his career?
No.
Or like he'll come back and
he'll
do
come
something?
back,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's just funny that as soon as he leaves, it's like, oh, strike's over. And then SAG president Fran Drescher announced a 3-year deal, which means that there will be another strike in 2026.
that
So enjoy the 3 years.
That was the word when I finally saw that headline. It's like, wait, this is only good for 3 years?
Yeah.
We're doing
And-
this all over again in 3 years?
Here's the thing. She claims the deal is reportedly worth more than $1 billion, which includes new levels of minimum compensation, bonuses tied to streaming, and first protections against AI. But she's saying that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, can we really believe her?
Can they-
Or she could just be making this up, and then the studio's like, yeah, say you got it. Say you got all of it. But really, you got nothing.
right, because the studios said that they released a final offer that they would not negotiate, and none of that stuff was in it.
Right.
And then the next day they caved.
Look,
Yeah.
I mean, saying a deal, it's a fake billion, right? Like they're just
Yeah,
saying
of
it
course.
could, like, over the course of what, 3 years, it'll be worth $1 billion to like every actor that's working.
right.
Yeah, it's a $1
billion because
Fugazi. It's
It's
a
a
fake
billion
number.
because you're paying Leonardo DiCaprio and all those top stars
Right.
$1 billion.
Yeah, it's a
I
silly
mean,
number.
South
to throw
Park
out there.
did an episode on this where Canada goes on strike, but it's all about the WGA, the writers' strike.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he's like, they cave, and he's like, "Could you pretend like you gave us a lot, even though you didn't?" And they're like, "Sure."
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, that'll
So
work.
like, for all we know, that's what happened.
Yeah.
I just Fran Drescher's gonna pull this
Like
off.
new levels of minimum compensation.
Yeah.
Could be like, we'll give you another $1 a day. Yay! Huzzah!
We've
Right.
now added cinnamon rolls to catering.
Look how she says, and the first protections against AI. Not we're completely protected against
Right.
AI.
Yeah.
The first protections. Like,
Yeah.
we'll protect Leonardo DiCaprio.
Craft,
We good?
Craft Services will now have name brand cereal instead of Great Value.
But see, that the funny thing is, like, craft services on movie sets are amazing. Like,
hold
you
on.
would be lucky enough to eat dinner there every day.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Now, as a non-union member on movie sets, then a union member on movie sets, it is night and day. Now, if you're on Friends as a non-union actor, which I believe I was non-union when I was on Friends, everyone kind of eats the same, right?
Yeah.
It's a smaller set. But when you're on a big, giant movie set, literally, here's the food for you people. And like breakfast is just like a bunch of bagels from like last week on like
Sure,
a table,
yeah.
kind of cut, kind of
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
But once you become union, you get you get the food truck access.
Uh-huh.
You get another separate tent. It is amazing. It is night and day.
Oh, yeah.
Union and non-union on the big movie sets. You know?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I helped on an indie movie in LA once, and we got like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Yeah.
After like a 16-hour shift.
right.
A 16-hour unpaid
Yeah.
shift where I was doing hard labor
Yeah.
for 16 hours straight.
But I always make a joke because when I was like, bet those years, 18, 19, 20, well, actually I was 22, 23, 24, sorry, when I was in LA. I was still eating burgers and fries. I didn't have like
Sure.
a fine tooth for anything. And
Yeah.
this is where like I started eating. I was trying to diet and I was like, I guess give me the salmon. All the stars are eating salmon. Let me try salmon. I was like, oh, this is fucking amazing. You know what I mean? So you start like expanding and like the craft foods on like a TV set is amazing.
Yeah.
Like the spreads are great all day long. Again,
Right.
the craft food people
Interesting.
get a credit in the movie. Hey, I put out bagels. Hey, I'm in the movie. But if you're an extra where you're running away from a dinosaur and your face is on camera, nothing.
Yeah.
I've never understood that about Hollywood.
crazy.
And as someone who did over 85 movies and TV shows of extra work, I don't understand how they don't get just put on like
they
every
should have fought for that.
a guy who drove the bus for a day on set. Hey, I brought Andrew to set.
Yeah.
Credit in the movie.
Yeah.
Yet extras don't. I've never understood that
It's shitty.
to this day.
They should have fought for that.
Yeah,
fought
extras who are not in
Name
our union.
recognition.
Yeah. So with the strike over, they're like, all right, here's the new releases, new release dates. Like James Gunn said that like his Superman movie, Superman Legacy, is still slated to come out in 2025. He's like, now that it ended, we're still good. That's still 2 years away though.
Yeah, right.
But Deadpool 3, due to the strikes, Deadpool 3 is currently the only MCU movie scheduled to
Wow.
release in 2024.
What was it before the strike? What else was going to come out?
Coming soon.
Captain America was supposed to come out next year.
New
New
World
Order.
Order. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Brave,
Yeah,
brave,
yeah.
new Brave World.
Brave
New World.
Whee!
Yeah, super lame.
Yeah.
And I think maybe one more, but now it's only Deadpool, which is hardly even an MCU movie.
No, right.
But it might be a good thing.
It's never been
let
kept.
us miss Marvel for a while.
Right.
Oh.
At least
Right.
in the movies, So,
Should I do my mini The Marvels
Yeah, sure.
recap since we're
Yeah.
not doing
Oh,
it on the show?
Yeah,
Or-
real quick. The other thing, Venom 3's new release date is November 8th, 2024. So if it could just be delayed indefinitely and never come out, it's like, hey, let's see. The first Venom film sucked. The second Venom film sucked more. Let's keep the same writer, same director, same everything. Make Venom 3.
Did Venom 2 make money?
Yeah, it did. Opening weekend.
Well, I mean,
Because everyone was excited for Carnage. And then they start Carnage and he fucking sucked.
the more rolls at the dice that you have, eventually you're gonna hit 6, right?
Yeah, but there shouldn't
Eventually?
be 3 standalone a villain of Spider-Man movie, right? Like Spider-Man's got to be in this.
That's the problem. He's not even a villain. And now they're making Kraven where Kraven's not a villain. It's so dumb. Like, I just played the Spider-Man 2 game and Kraven is amazing
Yeah.
in this video game. I'm like, just do that movie.
Yeah,
But no. Because go ahead with your Marvels review.
yeah. sucked. Anyone want to add?
Breaking news.
I've never. Okay,
Look, hold
you
on.
hear?
Can we just real quickly give a thank you to Joe for falling on that sword for all
Yeah,
of us?
exactly.
I don't know why us and our couple's friends wanted to go see a movie and drink. We drank heavily before and during this movie, which was good.
And he still didn't think it was good.
Listen, you ever you hear a movie's good and you go and you're like, okay, it wasn't great, right? Or it was better than you expected.
Sure.
Or, oh, this is going to suck. And you're like, it didn't suck that bad, or it was way worse.
Yeah.
This was the exact amount of suck. Like if you came out of this movie going, that's exactly what I thought it was going to be. Right. No, there were some weird, funny moments, and I try not to spoil anything, but there were these funny cat moments. I don't remember. The cat went everywhere with Captain Marvel.
Oh, so they went all in with the cat.
They went all in on the cat.
Yeah.
Oh, that monster
And then there were
cat.
and then there were more monster cats, and that was probably the best part of the movie.
Okay.
Was the monster cat scene where there was like hundreds of them.
It was like in Men in Black where the tiny aliens were funny, so they were in one scene. They're like, let's just put them in every scene in Men in Black 2.
All of them.
And then it was like, all right, no thanks.
Okay, this is what I want to know from Joe.
Yeah.
Better or worse than Ant-Man Quantumania?
Yeah, so I that's the comparison. It was worse only because not only was it bad and the acting was bad, but you get lost in this movie. Mm-hmm. Now, Quantumania, you get a little lost too, but you're mostly getting lost because you oh, who is that? I don't know that character. I don't know that character. There's not characters you really don't know in this movie. You just don't know what they're trying to do. You're not sure. Okay, they went here. Why? Right? And the villain's not that powerful. So you're like, how do 3 Captain Marvels not just easily beat this random villain that's nowhere near as powerful as each of them? You know what I mean?
Where's
Especially when Captain Marvel can destroy Thanos pretty much by herself.
Yeah.
They should have been able to.
I don't know if I can give a spoiler-free post-credit scene, but it was the best part of the movie.
I saw it. I looked it up.
Right,
So I
that
was
was
like, I don't want to see this movie, so I
online.
looked it up.
That was
And
cool.
honestly,
Sure.
it felt a little bit lame.
I mean,
No,
don't
but-
spoil it.
I didn't
obviously,
spoil
but-
it.
But when you watch a terrible movie and then a couple of cool little things happen in the post-credit scene, you're like, oh, cool.
Sure.
Hey.
Yeah, right. Was the CGI worse or better than Ant-Man 3?
It was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Because I remember Quantumania. I was just watching it. I was like, this visually hurts my eyes.
Well, at least they, the whole movie CGI Quantumania. It has to be.
The whole movie.
So you can at least say, well, they had a lot to do. This movie, there's not a lot of CGI and it was still bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the cool people in the post-credit scene looked pretty bad. I guess you saw it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I saw it because someone filmed it, so I didn't
okay.
really get a great look at it.
It
but
was
yeah.
it was very cartoony.
My joke was from the people who brought you She-Hulk. Also, this character.
Maybe.
I did want to share. Apparently, the Marvels opened with 47 million at the domestic box office. That's what it says.
No, I know.
Oh yeah, and it was apparently the lowest opening weekend in MCU.
Yeah, before that, the lowest was
History.
No, it
incredible.
can't be.
Yeah,
47 million?
opening weekend. Yeah, before the lowest previously was Incredible Hulk.
Iron Man
55
1
million.
made more?
Oh, Iron Man 1 killed.
In the opening weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Iron Man 1 killed. But Incredible Hulk that same summer did not do well.
Well, did Iron Man 1 kill opening weekend, or was it like a slow build where word of mouth spread?
That's what I thought. Because MCU was nothing back
Yeah,
then.
but everyone was excited for Iron Man 1 box off.
Remember, Iron Man wasn't even a main favorite MCU guy.
Right.
Who's your favorite? Hulk, Spider-Man, right? Different characters. No one's Iron Man's my favorite.
Yeah,
it was Robert Downey Jr. that bought
Yeah.
that character to
At the
to be
time, that was an
amazing.
interesting choice.
Opening 98 million.
Wow.
I mean,
That's
people
crazy.
were super excited for the start of the MCU.
Well, sure.
You know,
But we didn't know it was going to be this
Yeah, they did.
great
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, they knew hey, there's
Couple
all these
movies were coming out, yeah.
Also, I mean, this is the same year as The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight killed. You know what I mean? People
Yeah.
were excited.
So there's
to
a lot
see
of
these
promise. Yeah.
movies. But for some reason, not so much for Incredible
Well,
Hulk.
for 47 million to be a shitty opening, that's crazy.
For Marvel, for sure.
Well, I know.
I mean,
yeah.
they're gonna lose so much money. I mean,
I'm
you know,
hopefully
You
this
think it
is
cost them
a
200 to make this movie?
probably,
humbling
yeah.
experience.
I mean, the She-Hulk.
That's what I heard.
How much?
I thought I heard 250 for the budget.
I mean, remember She-Hulk? They said was
Marvels.
270 Marvels. Yeah.
Ouch.
She's so fired.
I mean,
They're all fired.
listen, it'll make its money back, especially overseas and
No,
stuff
it
like
won't.
that.
It's not going to
But,
make
like,
270 worldwide.
I'm sure
It will not. It will
know.
not. Josh, opening weekend's the biggest number.
It's like you have to, you double
It's
opening
not going
weekend.
to get bigger. It's going to get so much worse. It's going to make $10 million next week.
Wow, that's true.
And Brie Larson was like this big. I don't remember her
she's
being so
no,
tiny.
she's a fucking pencil now. It's
like
it's
she
terrible.
got way thinner.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So this is maybe a hot take. Is Brie Larson going to get canceled for setting women back in movies?
Well, you've got 3 hero women versus a 1 villain woman.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even, they just didn't do it right. Like Wonder Woman was amazing. Like,
Right.
like there's ways to do it right. And
Yeah.
it just, the story kind of sucked and it was rushed. And like, you never felt like the world was in trouble in this movie. You know what I mean? You're
Well,
like,
it all took place somewhere else, right?
well, that's
Yeah,
can't
who
really
cares?
say.
No one cares. Like literally, none of our fans,
Asked
and
us to review.
usually when there's a new movie out, they're like, "Hey, come on, watch the new one." But like literally 0 of our fans said, "Hey, can you review the Marvels?"
I know.
Because none of them are going to see it,
Right.
Yeah.
which Josh just proved with the opening weekend box office. My God.
Like I'll tell you about one scene that bothered me was, and I'm terrible with names, but Captain Marvel, her niece that got powers in WandaVision. Right?
Rambo, right?
Something like
I think
that.
it is Rambo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she sees her after like 10 years and she's like, where were you? And Captain Marvel was like, saving the fucking world. Remember when
Yeah.
she told like, where you been? And she was
Yeah.
like, there's a lot of other worlds that don't have you guys, right?
Right, yeah.
She's always running around the universe.
Yes.
The millions of planets in the universe helping people. And still she's like, I don't care. We needed you. And she walked away and you're like, you selfish bitch.
They're trying to do the Iron Man Captain America where he's like
Yeah.
blaming Steve, like
Yeah.
I needed you. Like they're doing the same exact thing.
But she literally says, well, I was kind of saving everyone across a whole universe.
You were pretending to be like like Scarlet Witch's neighbor. Like shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
What the fuck were you doing?
And by the way, you're fine. And you have powers now. You're welcome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So 1 out of 10. What would you rate
The girl was the best part. So I would maybe watch. No, I'm not going to watch Miss Marvel. But she was kind of the best part. Like she was always kind of, she had like this, she never met Captain Marvel in the show. We learned
Right.
that,
Yeah,
'cause
yeah,
she's-
yeah.
And they do this thing where they kind of keep accidentally trading spots.
Right.
The
Yeah.
three of
Freaky
them.
Friday.
Yeah, it's kind of that ish. Not like in their bodies, but like
Right.
their whole
Yeah.
body would switch.
Where's
she
our
kept,
daughter?
Yeah, so she kept switching. So she never would meet Captain Marvel because she kept switching spots.
Right.
Her family met her and all this kind of stuff. So when she finally is with her, like this, I'm meeting my idol kind of thing. It was good. Like that
Yeah,
was funny.
yeah,
And
yeah.
she's a great little actress.
Yeah.
Like, she was really, really
I mean,
strong.
in the trailer, like she's kind of the best parts of the trailer
Right.
from what I've watched. Like
Her and the cat scene. Even
Yeah.
Samuel Jackson was just kind of like,
Well,
yeah, I mean,
there.
he's got to stick with his Secret Invasion character.
And not
We
only-
know the guy who sucked.
Not
Yeah.
only
Nick
that,
Fury who sucks ass.
I mean, it could have been a scroll too. So I mean, I don't
but
know.
the
Everyone's a Skrull.
Skrulls are in this movie as themselves,
Yeah.
like the whole time. And they could have
Are
been
they?
other people
Are
and helped
they?
themselves, and they didn't. You're like, I don't know.
I don't understand.
All right, so 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10.
Oh, come on. 1. I don't know. I don't. There was nothing enjoyable. The cat scene maybe brings it to a 2. That's it though.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was unfortunate.
Yeah.
It was unfortunate. It didn't move a story. It didn't move the MCU. You know what I mean? It touched on the multiple dimension thing again, which pisses me off.
That'd be great on the movie poster. How like they'll have quotes on the movie poster, just quotes. Unfortunate.
Yeah,
Show the sign.
Did you get a refund because it was so
I
bad?
should have.
Like you just walk out and you tell the guy, you're like, hey, what the fuck? And he's like,
Wait, does the box office
Throw the
numbers
money at
account
you.
for
He
that?
just has people like, I just came out of Marvel. Yep.
yeah, hold on.
I just came out of Marvel. You got it.
Yeah, thank you.
They give cash because like we would do the credit card thing, but we don't have enough time. Just take cash.
So we should minus 20 million, right, for refunds in the box office numbers?
Maybe.
Way more. Yeah. All right, moving on. Variety reports that Darren Aronofsky is set to direct an Elon Musk biopic for A24 Films.
Interesting.
A24 Films did produced Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah.
So that's kind of wait till he goes to Mars, right?
Yeah. Is this interesting enough to do?
Yeah. Like, what is it going to be? Him getting canceled over and over and buying Twitter, changing it to X?
I don't know.
Is that the sequel to Social Network that they were
Developing
talking
a
about?
bond with Joe Rogan. Who's going to play Joe Rogan in this movie?
Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I mean, wait till he goes to Mars at least, and then make the movie. See what happens.
Right.
Like the shuttle explodes.
Wait till, I was gonna
and then you
say,
make the
wait
movie.
till the spaceship just is about to land on Mars and explodes. Elon Musk. It'll just be called Musk.
Credits.
Musk.
Also, Warner Brothers Discovery has reportedly shelved another movie that is 100% finished. They did this with Batgirl last year for a tax write-off. But Coyote versus Acme was filmed and edited last year, and it starred John Cena. It was like a Roger Rabbit type movie.
Okay.
Co-written by James Gunn.
What?
Written by James Gunn.
And
yes.
apparently it was getting really good test scores.
Yeah,
So
like
what the
people
fuck?
that saw it were like, this movie's amazing.
What
Like,
the hell? I mean, Batgirl got horrible reviews.
Right.
I get it.
Right.
We don't want to go backwards. It's got John Cena, great reviews. James Gunn. What's going on?
$30 million tax write-off.
No.
Because they've lost, again, they're so, yeah.
I know. I
30
mean,
million.
these were the greatest cartoons growing
I know,
up.
that was my favorite
I
one.
want to see him die 17 times.
The crazy thing is that we were about to have a content shortage too, with still the actors strike going on, and yet there's going to be a content shortage because they're starting it up now. But
Well,
you
Warner
think that-
Brothers Discovery is so far in the red, and that's why they're doing this.
yeah, my
just-
my Warner Brothers stock has been steadily.
Yeah. I mean, they've lost so much money over the years, and like this merger was like even a bigger mistake. They're in trouble.
Yeah.
It's it's so dumb. Like, we're never going to see this movie now. It's
I bet
so lame.
they can't
I don't
even
think
sell
so.
it to Netflix.
I don't think so.
Right,
sell it to
just like
Netflix.
we're never going to see Batgirl. All these
I don't
movies.
care about that. I kind of want to see Coyote. I always loved Coyote. He was my favorite. Like, Coyote versus Roadrunner was my favorite of the Looney Tunes. And I always rooted for Coyote, and I feel like they probably would have given him some sort of satisfying ending for the Coyote this time, and John Cena's in it.
What's the satisfying ending for the Coyote? He actually dies. Like, finally, let me rest.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny.
He's got to eat the Roadrunner. I don't know. We're obviously never going to see it, but
See a
that's a
feather
shame.
fall out of his mouth. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
later.
And then the last thing I have, this isn't really movie related, but it warrants talking about. Rockstar Games has announced that after 10 years
10
of Grand Theft Auto 5,
long
and that's
years.
3 consoles, PS3, PS4, PS5, they finally made another Grand Theft Auto game, GTA 6. The trailer drops next month. Now, we don't know when the game's coming out. And for example, the Grand Theft Auto 5 trailer came out in 2011 and was released 2 years later. But that's really not how it works anymore. I'm thinking it comes out next year,
Yeah.
But it's been 10 years of GTA 5 and they've made billions from it. And that's why they never made the next one. They're like, we don't need to. We made billions.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But they've finally made another one and I can't wait.
Yeah.
What do you guys have?
Well, I thought it was something interesting. Who loves Terminator?
No, not
No,
anymore.
okay.
Well, the old ones, yeah.
Well, they're making another Terminator.
God damn it!
But this is going to be
7,
an anime Terminator.
Okay, fine.
Sure.
An animated Terminator. Apparently,
Direct to Netflix or something.
He said Terminator.
Terminator, animated Terminator.
Yeah,
It is
that's
Aminator? Aminated. Jesus Christ.
Good God.
Aminator.
Terminator, the animate. God damn it. Terminator, the anime series will take us back to 1997 when Skynet AI first becomes self-aware
Skynet,
and turned against the humans. It'll feature a new cast of characters. According to Variety.
Emanated Terminator.
Come on, you know you're excited.
I'll be back.
You know you're excited for animated Terminator.
Where is it going to be?
It's going to be on Netflix in 2024.
Okay.
And
Is
the only-
Arnold gonna do it?
No, they said it's going to be a new cast.
Bullshit.
What would anyone care?
Yeah, it's not Arnold. I'm out.
Yeah.
The
Why
only
can't he
other,
show up for one day and say like 7 lines?
Yeah.
the only other thing I have is
Exactly.
Who Loves Garfield movies.
No,
They're doing another take at it.
Why?
And- Josh?
None of those have ever made money.
And apparently the first trailer for Garfield drops tomorrow
Why though?
or today.
Bill Murray did it and it still sucked.
Yeah, even he regretted it.
Eventually they're going to get it right.
Are they?
Mondays.
By the way,
am I right?
My generation is almost too young for Garfield. What do you give a fuck about Garfield?
I mean, there was a cartoon when I was a
right?
kid. There was a cartoon that I watched a little bit when I was a kid, so I kind of liked it. But no, I don't care about the Garfield movie. I never saw the Garfield
He likes.
movie.
He's a cat who likes pizza and fucks with a dog. That's his whole.
Lasagna. He likes.
Oh,
lasagna.
I'm sorry, lasagna. That's his whole thing.
And he hates
That's
Mondays. Hates Mondays.
it. Who doesn't?
Yeah, and also Jared Leto climbed the Empire State Building or some shit to
Did
announce.
that
like,
really happen?
I don't know. CGI. I feel they showed him at the top. I was like, they probably just put him at the top.
Yeah.
AI.
Like he didn't climb the whole fucking thing.
No, I
don't
think he
think
just
so.
got on the top of it.
He probably went where the
roof.
civilians go, and
Right.
then you just climb from there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look, I wouldn't do that, but
Imagine when you're so bored that you start doing stupid shit.
at first I thought it was like an actor's strike thing, but apparently it was just to promote his fucking band, like like they're going back on tour.
Just one last thing.
He was 30 Seconds to Mars up there.
Oh, that's. So
you did it to your own joke.
this is part of the Garfield cast. Come on, tell me if you're not interested. Samuel L. Jackson's in it.
I'm out.
Is he Garfield?
No.
Well, then I'm out. If he was Garfield, I hate Mondays, motherfucker.
That'd be amazing.
Chris Pratt. Ving
Okay,
Rhames.
so why is Chris Pratt always the guy? Is
Ving
he Garfield?
Rhames.
Yes, of course.
Of course. What the fuck? He's Mario, Garfield, Lego guy?
Like,
fuck off, Chris
There's
Pratt.
no way this is real, Josh. I don't believe you. I don't believe this is real.
Who else? You said Chris Pratt. Who else?
And
Why
Ving
would Chris
Rhames.
Pratt-
Ving
Ving
Rhames is who? The dad?
Maybe.
Why would he do Garfield? That makes no sense at all. No sense.
What
at
else
all.
do you have that we don't care about, Josh?
Come on, you know you cared about Terminator the animated. There's
Animator. The animator?
That was forced.
I am the animator.
Let's go.
Okay.
All right, let's finish all this. Are we done? No more, Josh, please?
No more.
Okay, we're good. Do we need to update our fantasy lineups?
I think I'm good.
Do we need
You
a
guys-
minute?
Do we need a minute? I will say this if we're gonna keep going as you guys check that. The 90s, like these early 90s or mid 90s movies, like the title sequences are awesome. Like it gets you so fired up for the
Yeah.
movie. It's like
Sylvester Stallone,
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes.
so much drama just in the title sequence.
remember when I blew up the Dodge Collins thing
Yes.
with
Yeah,
bricks?
Yeah.
Like that's like every title sequence.
Yeah.
Back then. It
It's
was great.
1996. Los Angeles is a war zone.
Yeah.
It should have said 2023 Los Angeles.
Well-
would have been more accurate.
Sure.
They didn't know.
Well, the riots were like a year before this or 2 years before. They just like,
Right.
yeah, just let it burn. We're gonna film some
It
stuff.
looked like the future in Terminator 2. Like
Yeah.
in the beginning where they just show like everything's on fire.
Stock footage.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is like this movie was what 93, so
Yeah.
I guess they really thought in 3 years the world would go to shit.
Sure.
Like the Hollywood signs just on fire, like what
Yeah.
all the time.
All the time.
Does someone go light it once a night? Like, hey, go light the fire on the Hollywood sign. He said the cops left. The guy makes a comment that no commercial airlines land there anymore, but there's a bus network.
Yes, there's a bus network.
The buses are still working,
And Stallone is a super cop with the LAPD.
of course.
Right away, this movie's hilarious. He bungee jumps out of a helicopter. He's and he just like a classic Stallone, like
No.
He's just
He yells, Phoenix as he jumps off the fucking helicopter.
Gotta send a
amazing.
maniac.
and then
Let
he
him
just-
know you're coming. Yeah.
Send a maniac to catch a maniac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He drops a giant duffel bag, which I'm assuming is guns, but as soon as he lands, he just starts running off and shooting people. You're like, what was the duffel bag for?
Right. He's just shooting everyone. And then he gets to Wesley Snipes or Simon Phoenix, and he points a gun at him, but Simon flicks his
Aren't you
cigarette.
like, shoot him?
Yeah, of course.
Shoot him.
Right.
He's destroyed a city. You've killed 30 other guys on
Yeah.
your way to him. No one's going to care. Shoot him in the head.
Well,
He was holding that.
Yeah, but
the
then he let it go.
lighter. But
Yeah.
he's
and
got,
then he had the cigarette.
he had to find the busload of passengers.
yeah. Who are they?
Bro, I scanned. They're here somewhere. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
So he flicks a cigarette at Stallone, sets the room on fire. And Stallone or John Spartan, that's his name, Spartans!
The names in this movie are just amazing.
They
Yeah,
are. They are.
Simon Phoenix, John Spartan. I mean,
Amazing.
just so many classic names.
They're great.
So Stallone and Snipes, they fight. Stallone knocks out Snipes, but he picks him up and carries him, and the building explodes and collapses.
Yeah.
And like while that's happening, they're both still in the building.
Yeah,
And then
right.
the next scene,
Dead.
Stallone's just like, "Hey, what's up?"
Hey.
Not even a
How you
scratch.
doing?
And again, he's carrying him out of the building, right?
Yes, yes.
What do you? I don't get this whole save the villain bullshit when you
Right,
just
you were-
murdered
you-
all of his guys.
And you just tried to kill him.
You tried to kill him. Now he's passed out. Now you're gonna save him?
Yeah.
And
Well,
risk your own life?
They've got a Joker and Batman type of dynamic going on. Batman
I
just
get
can't kill the Joker, and
Yeah.
neither
Yeah.
can Stallone.
You're just too much.
But Batman doesn't kill anyone. Stallone kills all the other guys.
Well, Batfleck.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
Batfleck.
we're not
exactly.
talking about Batfleck. Batfleck doesn't count. It's not canon anymore. James
No.
Gunn said it.
No.
So yeah, Stallone thinks he saved the day. However, 30 innocent people were dead in the building, and they blamed Stallone for it, even though they were already dead before he got there.
Plus, how do you blame a cop who's trying to save the day and none
Right.
of you were even had the balls to save the day?
Yeah.
I
And,
guess
and Stallone didn't blow up the building. Snipes did.
The the commissioner from Lethal Weapon is his commissioner,
Right.
and he's basically like, you didn't follow the chain of command. Okay, then you fire him. So we're freezing you forever.
You've been sentenced to 70 years of rehabilitation cryo sleep. I was like, 1996?
Yeah, right. No.
And then like,
Does
and
that
then,
mean you come out and you're released? Like after 70 years?
you have parole? But yeah,
Yeah.
there's a parole hearing. But then it's so funny. He gets in there, and then when he's getting frozen, Stallone just decides to make the dumbest face possible. He's like, they're all just
Yeah.
like,
By the way, I'm pretty sure we saw his balls like 6 times.
Wouldn't you make an attempt like I'm about to get frozen. I'm just gonna squeeze my legs together.
Yes,
So there's
right.
not 70 years of people looking at my cock.
I know, like late, like at the
cover
end,
the cock.
at the end of the movie when they're fighting and there's all those frozen people, like one guy is just like you see his taint.
Yeah.
they're fighting and it's like why are we looking at a guy's taint?
Yes. And why are these covered? Like, are we just going to stare at naked people?
Yes, it's so fucking weird. So fast forward to the year 2032, and hey, it's Sandra Bullock and
Wow.
she's a cop.
Yeah.
Only a few years away.
Yeah,
That's
This
crazy.
is like her coming out movie, I'm pretty sure.
because this is right before Speed.
Yeah, a year before, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
And she was a newcomer for Speed.
right.
They introduced her kind of
Yeah,
in that
yeah.
movie. So,
And
yeah.
I know, like,
she
this-
looks great. By
yeah,
the way.
this
She's
is-
so fucking cute.
She is in this movie,
Yeah.
yes. And this is 9 years from now. But like I kind of feel like for the most part they nailed it.
Right?
Like,
We're getting
it's
more
not
PC.
It's not like-
greetings and salutations.
It's not like Back to the Future 2 where they went to 2015 and it was flying cars and it was so fucking different. Like this was just like, well, yeah, we have self-driving cars.
Yeah.
And the people dress stupid.
Everybody's
Right.
lame.
And everyone's, lame. Yeah, everyone's lame. Like there's
No one's allowed to say anything. or you'll
FaceTime.
get-
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
right.
it's
yeah.
perfect.
And then, but I didn't know. I knew Dennis Leary was in this. I didn't know Sandra Bullock, but I was like, oh, it's Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Dennis Leary. Oh, it's Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider.
Oh, it's the asshole from Shawshank Redemption.
Yes.
Hey, it's the fat white guy from the 90s.
From Ace Ventura.
From Ace Ventura. Hey, it's the handsome Hispanic guy from the 90s.
Benjamin Bratt. Yeah. Who was in Miss Congeniality with
Sandra
Sandra
Bullock.
Bullock. 6 Degrees of Kevin. We should play that on this game. You guys should give me every week. You should give me a celebrity that you're like, there's no way Joe will do it. I'm
Right.
like the best in the world at that game.
Yeah.
You'd probably be very good at it too, just for connecting movies and stuff.
Oh my God.
He's been in so much shit.
Well, yeah, because the fat guy was in Ace Ventura 1, and then Shawshank guy is in Ace Ventura 2.
Right? Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of connections.
Wow,
a lot
wow,
of
wow.
connections.
And then also there's a Lethal Weapon 3 poster on the wall of
In a police station.
of Huxley's office. That's Sandra Bullock because she wants the action.
Yeah.
She's like, I want some action.
So this is crazy. We're living in a world where Lethal Weapon exists and Arnold Schwarzenegger actually exists as
Yes.
a person.
Yes.
But not
And
Sylvester
Jackie Chan.
Stallone.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
I know
get
you'll-
to the Arnold stuff. Holy
Okay,
shit,
good, yeah,
later.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
my God.
It's coming.
So Simon Phoenix was also frozen, but they thawed him out for his parole hearing. I like how he was sentenced to fewer years.
I didn't think
than Stallone.
Wait, I
He
thought
had a lesser sentence.
but the main guy did that. The main guy made that happen.
That's
he put
right.
That
Yeah,
in
that's
motion.
right. The mayor.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he gets thawed out for his parole hearing, and then he says teddy bear, and his restraints open. And they're like, how did you know? And he's like, and he kills everyone, and then he removes the eyeball of that one guy to escape the room. That's a really cool scene.
Yeah,
He
gross.
just holds up the pen. He's like, there we go.
Yep.
And then Huxley looks up Simon's arrest record, and it's like murder,
Death,
kill, and then rape. And like rape is like bold and big. It's like rape.
Yeah.
It's just like, holy shit.
I'm surprised they
This
didn't
guy's
look
bad
that
news.
up. Do they know what rape is? They don't know what rape is in that world.
Yeah,
Maybe
you would think not.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
they did their research.
Cops don't do anything. That's the one thing they got wrong. Unless in 9 years, all of a sudden there's peace in the United States where there's no more crime, but I can't see that happening.
No.
I think we're a little bit farther away from that.
And then like Simon just keeps killing people, and they're just like reading about it on the computer. They're just like, oh, he killed another person. It's like, go get him, dummies.
What are you doing?
They're just
Well,
What
that
are you doing?
That was one of the main cop strategy.
Yeah.
The cop boss, or not cop boss. The cop
chief.
boss, the chief. He was like, well, just wait for him to kill somebody else, and we'll figure out where he is.
right, yeah. And then so Simon Phoenix is out there, and like some computer is telling a loser that he's cool.
Yeah.
Which is like, that's also like
I feel like
social
that's
media.
close,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Right.
He's like, oh, I feel like a loser. And like, no, you're cool, man. And Simon's like, get the fuck out of here. And then Dennis Leary's character, Edgar Friendly, pops up on the screen, and Simon hears a voice in his head saying, kill Edgar Friendly.
Yeah.
And then Simon curses. So this is my favorite part of the whole movie.
Oh man.
He curses, so the machine finds him, and he's like, fuck you, and fuck you, and he just
Yeah.
keeps getting fined.
Yeah.
And then the cop shows up, and he's like, motherfuckers are fast, too, and you're fine.
Every point in the movie when anyone
Yeah.
says it, they're consistent with
It's
that.
very faint in the background.
Yeah,
You can
yeah,
hear,
faint in the background.
I'm like, this
It's
is
a
like
great
a South
running
Park
gag.
episode.
Yes.
They're even playing later, or I guess they were playing. Later they're playing like movies of Stallone.
Yes.
just to see what he was doing in the past.
Oh, right.
And he says a word, and you hear it in the background like.
One cop reads what to tell Simon because they don't have any experience. They're like, please, get down on the floor. And he's
With
like,
your hands behind your
yeah.
back.
And he's like, ooh, I'm so scared.
He's like, he's not doing it. What do I do?
Say it again with a
Yeah.
firmer voice.
yeah.
How to arrest a maniac.
And add or else.
Or else. Yeah.
Or else. So Simon kicks the cops' asses, and Rob Schneider yells, they're police officers. They're not trained for this kind of violence.
So good, yeah.
That's amazing. And then also, oh, hey, it's the fat guy from Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
And he's the same character.
Same guy.
Also-
The same
Same
exact
clothes.
character.
He just wore the same clothes from
Yeah.
Beetlejuice.
So then the cops realize they need someone from the past to help them who's as violent as Simon Phoenix. And they look up John Spartan, a.k.a. the Demolition Man.
Yeah.
And they watch some like old videos of him in action. And then there's like what was the
Right.
line?
No, so they show this line, or they show this TV
News,
clip
yeah.
of a TV reporter going, "You just destroyed a $25 million building."
No, hold on. Say it right. She goes,
Yeah.
how do you justify destroying a $7 million complex just to save one little girl?
Right? Fuck you, lady.
And the girl's on his shoulder. Fuck you, lady.
It's awesome.
By the way, Andrew made a good point last night. It was really interesting that you get like 20 minutes into this movie and you've barely seen Stallone.
Yeah, like,
Like,
he's
it's
in the
like-
first 10 minutes,
Well,
but then
it's
there's
like-
like 20 minutes without him, and it's like, wow, that's
yeah,
kind
like
of
the
shocking.
first quarter of the movie, like there's just a ton of not.
So the
him.
first script of this movie starts in the future, and a guy came in to do a rewrite, and he's like, "No, you got to show
Yeah.
these two fighting first, otherwise you have no idea what you're like expecting." You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So they thaw out Spartan, even though the Shawshank guy feels he's just as barbaric as Simon Phoenix. And then Huxley, like, Spartan's like, where's my wife? And Huxley tells him that his wife died in an earthquake,
Yeah.
in the big
big one.
earthquake of 2011.
Yeah.
So then he asks about his daughter,
Yeah.
doesn't get an answer. And then there's a shot of Sandra Bullock, and she's like,
Yeah.
And right then and there, I said, like, because Aaron's seen this and he's watching me watch it, and I'm like, hey, you're going to be upset, but I figured out the movie.
I
told Aaron. I was,
What? That he's gonna fuck his daughter?
I was so excited when he said, I think Sandra Bullock's his daughter.
I was like,
oh, I can't wait for him to watch the rest
I
of
didn't
this.
think-
I
I knew
can't
it.
wait for him to watch the rest of this.
I was like,
You didn't think it. You knew it.
It's his daughter.
Right.
Because it just made too much sense.
Oh, my
like,
God.
where's my daughter? But I don't know. There's no mention. Like, I don't know. And he never finds her. And then also the first half of the movie, he's not even flirting with her.
Right.
And also she's just like him.
Yes.
Like she wants the action. She wants, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's going to be the twist at the end. It's
But
going to be
he's
his
48
daughter.
and she's 23.
Yeah.
Real
And
life numbers.
The timeline doesn't really match up because it's 40 years later. So she wouldn't be 40, obviously. But still, I was like, I don't know, maybe they got his semen in or something.
No, but they do
They
kind of
drill
make
the
that.
hole?
Yeah.
I feel like he was like, oh, it's so obvious. It's his daughter.
But they never go back to it, right? They never
No.
mention his daughter again.
No. Apparently there's a deleted scene where he meets his daughter and then
Yeah.
it didn't make the cut. But why even mention that he has a fucking daughter?
Yeah, why not
you could
just
say
take
he has
that
a
out?
wife. She died.
That's it.
All right, that's it.
Shut it down.
I have a daughter. She's out there somewhere. We gotta find
Apparently,
her.
that deleted scene was in the first few cuts, and test audiences were like, well, his daughter's the same age as Sandra Bullock. She's even younger, and
Yeah.
he's trying to fuck her. It's like, eh.
Well, they just shouldn't even mention that he has a daughter if you're not going to pay that
Agreed.
off. So then Spartan asks for a cigarette, but they're banned. So he's like, "You shitting me?"
You shitting me?
And then Spartan goes to the bathroom, and he comes back, and he's like, "You're out of toilet paper." And Rob Schneider's like, you know, that was Rob Schneider.
That was pretty good.
That was Rob Schneider's like role in the '90s. Just
Oh,
be
yeah.
like the little weasel.
he
Home
made
Alone
a career
2.
out of that laugh.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh my god!" He's like, "Yeah, there were 3 seashells instead." And he's like, "Oh, he doesn't know how to use the seashells."
Yeah.
And it's just like, what?
It's the one annoying thing in the movie because it's so ridiculous and it's never explained. You're kind of like,
You just shit in the seashells?
like, what do you? Yeah, like, how does it even make sense?
Like you
you
just
wipe your ass with the seashells.
like you just wipe with the seashells, right? Like
I don't know.
What the hell else would it be?
How do they?
Do you want to know this 3 seashells?
You got it?
Yes.
What do you mean? According to who, though?
According to the writer.
I'll take anyone.
Oh, the writer said it?
Yeah, I'll
Okay,
take-
please.
Okay. Okay. The 3 seashells. What are the biggest?
Thank you, Josh.
no,
that helps.
sorry.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
One of the biggest mysteries of Demolition Man is a bath medicate.
You don't have to read the backlog. Just tell us what it means.
Screenwriter Daniel Walters
Don't care.
phoned his friend talking about the idea.
Just tell us what he said.
Come on,
sorry.
Terminator.
Walter said he had a bag full of seashells in the bathroom, and that was that. According to Stallone, the first 2 seashells are used to clamp, and the third is to pull the waist.
What?
I'm sorry, what?
Okay, I'll read this since Josh can't
All
read.
right, thank you.
No.
Thank you.
The first 2 seashells are used to clamp and pull the waist, while the third is used to clean up. So you've got to pull the turd out of your ass with 2
With 2
seashells,
seashells?
and then wipe with the third shell.
That's the
Why?
latest. That's futuristic.
And this is their beautiful, clean future.
Yeah.
What the
Ugh.
fuck?
What happened to bidets? They work great.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't have that in this timeline. I don't know.
All right, moving on.
Timeline. It's not a multiverse movie.
That's
you
horrible.
Dick.
To clamp the
Oh, that's awful.
Well, that was one of
If
the
you
funny
have diarrhea, oh, you're just fucked.
One of the funny.
Don't eat at Taco Bell. It's the only restaurant.
Right.
Aaron's dream has come true, finally.
Yeah.
I do love that.
That's
like
awesome.
Stallone goes over the fucking curse machine. He's like, fuck, bitch, cunt,
He's calling it. He's like, you motherfucking
Yeah.
stupid ass and them.
Just grabbing
he's,
them.
He's just grabbing him. And he's like, dope it.
Now I can go wipe my ass.
Yeah. See you in a few minutes.
Then Simon goes to a museum since that's the only place in the United States where you could find a gun. Imagine that world.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not
Oh,
gonna
and
happen.
they also leave the bullets next to the guns as opposed to just throwing the bullets away.
This movie is like Idiocracy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the point, though, right? Like
Yeah.
the future, they're all stupid. They're all just like dumb.
They loved making these movies in the 90s.
And then there's a very like misogynistic scene here where Huxley is like going to drive the car, then Stallone's like, "I'll drive,
Yeah.
cunt."
He's like, I'll drive. He puts her away by her tit.
But then he can't figure out the car, and he's like, "All right, you drive."
Yeah.
And also, the most popular song in 2032 is some stupid song about hot dogs.
Armor hot dogs, which I think was real.
Armor hot dogs.
Yeah, like old
From the 60s.
like old
Right.
radio commercial jingles are like popular songs now.
Oh, that's awful. And then Simon walks in the armory room and he just shoves a guy in a wall. I'm like, I love this character.
He's so
just
good.
to be a dick. He just shoves that guy in the wall. He's
Yeah.
dead. And then he can't break the glass to get a gun, so he throws a guy through it.
How much do you weigh? It was great.
Yeah. And then he gets a shotgun. He's like, wait, this is the future. Where are the phaser guns? And he looks over. There's a phaser gun. So he gets the phaser gun. 2 other guys walk in. Hey, what's going on here?
They don't know what murder, death, kill is.
It's so fucking great. And then Simon grabs ammo and he goes, excuse me, Rambo.
Awesome.
I need to borrow this.
Awesome.
Interesting.
Rambo exists. Sly Stallone does not.
It was it was the 90s where you could just make any reference you want.
doesn't
I wonder
matter.
if Arnold played Rambo in those movies.
Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. And then Spartan and Simon have a cool shootout and then a fist fight. Simon shoots his phaser gun at Spartan and then runs away. And then Simon gets out and he meets that old white man who ends up being like the mayor fucking doctor who's in charge of everything.
Yeah.
And he's with the fat guy from Beetlejuice. And he wants to shoot him, but he can't do it. And the old man's like, don't you have a job to do? And he's like, yeah, I do. Yeah.
And that's your first like, oh shit.
Right.
This guy's in on it.
Yeah. So then Simon runs off and the mayor invites Spartan to dinner at Taco Bell.
Yeah. And they don't really talk about it at first.
No.
It kind of just, he's like,
No, later in the ride over. Yeah, so Huxley and Stallone are Huxley and Spartan are on the way to the dinner, and Huxley tells Stallone about President Schwarzenegger.
yeah.
And Spartan's like, you fucking kidding me?
Andrew was losing his mind.
Yeah, it was fucking great.
Yeah.
And then she mentions, that Taco Bell is the only restaurant to survive the franchise wars.
Yeah.
So all restaurants are Taco Bell.
So I've been watching the Arnold thing on Netflix. It's a great thing.
is.
I'm about in
It's
the middle
great.
of it. And yeah, he talks about him and Sly were just kind of going tit for tat in movies back then.
Yes.
It was like, who has more kills? Who has more kills? And this is right in the heart of like them going back and forth. So of course he's got to, he's like, we hated each other.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to be the biggest star in the
Right.
world. I think Schwarzenegger won that battle, honestly.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
He
hands
had
down.
more hits, but yeah.
What I remember, the Taco Bell thing, there was obviously cross promotion when this came out, and I remember there was this really bad commercial. It was a Taco Bell commercial,
Yeah.
and they recut the commercial. So like she's telling him, "Oh, all restaurants are now Taco Bell," and then it cuts to Stallone going, "I'm impressed." And it's like, oh, it's painful.
So apparently overseas, nobody really knows what a Taco Bell is. So that gimmick was changed to Pizza Hut.
Well, Taco Bell was not like the household name it is today back then.
Right.
So yeah, they had to do Pizza Hut, which I guess is
Wait,
international.
overseas, the movie, they go to Pizza Hut instead?
Yeah,
Oh, my God.
yeah.
And they just dubbed over
Taco Bell
Stallone?
or Pizza Hut. And I think some countries tried to cover it with graphics, and some said, we're going to say Pizza Hut, but it's going to say Taco Bell. You know, it's translation.
Right. So Spartan tells the mayor, who also developed the cryo prison, that he was awake the entire time he was frozen. 40 years.
How does that? How?
I don't know. He's like, I was awake the whole time. I saw everything.
I just see
And
my
that-
wife banging on
That
the
also,
voice.
like,
What?
I would think a movie like this would explain it more, but it's more like tongue in cheek with, that's how Simon knew how to break the restraints. That's why he knew teddy bear was the code, because he was awake the whole fucking time.
Right. Getting instructions. Or
Yeah.
whatever. So his brain is like 80 years old, but his body is still
Right.
like he's 30.
Right. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
So then Edgar Friendly and his men show up, and Spartan beats most of them up, but Edgar Friendly escapes with some Taco Bell.
Yeah.
He gets some of it. And then
But he looks funny at him. He's like, oh, this guy can fight.
yeah,
That's weird.
He's like, I'm gonna take some tacos, okay?
Yeah.
And then this is a really cool moment in the movie because like Stallone and then like even maybe the viewer think like, oh, okay, like Dennis Leary's some bad guy.
Yeah.
But like, no, they're just rebels that are fucking starving.
They just hate this politically correct bullshit.
Yeah.
And they just want to eat.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, quick little side question about the freezing thing. So, their bodies come out the same age, but their brains get all the memories. So, your brains age. Could they have like 30-year-old guys coming out of this with like Alzheimer's and
Yeah,
dementia?
right.
Like, what?
Maybe.
They didn't think it through, Aaron. They didn't
I'm
think it
surprised they were this well off after
Yeah, I know.
your brain's frozen.
Right.
But
Right.
you're still conscious.
Yeah.
That can't be good.
I did get it to one of the lines from Stallone during this fracas.
Yeah.
He goes to Bullock and he's like, hurting people's not a good thing. Well, maybe sometimes it is.
Sometimes
But,
it is.
not when it's a bunch of people looking for food.
Yeah, exactly. So then Simon breaks into the mayor's house, and the mayor tells him, you were thawed to kill Edgar Friendly. And then Simon gives the mayor a list of some people he wants on his team, and they need to be defrosted. And Simon agrees to kill Edgar as long as he's paid.
So that should work out well, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
interesting.
Right.
Then Huxley takes Spartan home, and she was so impressed with him beating up all those fucking rebels that she offers to have sex with him. She's like, would you like to have sex with me? And he's like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask where the whores were in this timeline, but
And Andrew was like, "Oh God."
I was like, oh, no. They're going there?
I was so happy. I was like, "Yeah."
Angie's probably like, oh, he's about to find out
Right.
when he's inside of her that it's.
Jesus.
So she gets a couple of virtual reality helmets because that's how you have sex now.
So stupid.
I mean, not too far off, right?
No, I don't have sex.
No,
like that.
Josh,
No.
so-
I actually have.
You might
just-
want to tell us a little bit more
Josh,
about your
I'm just-
relationship.
No,
man.
I'm just saying, we're not too far off from that in the future,
Josh's
right?
girlfriend is smarter than
in
we
the
think.
future. Go fuck yourselves. I mean,
Josh,
in the-
just put on this
in
helmet.
20
Josh, time to have sex.
years-
All right. No, keep your clothes
In
on.
20 years, we could be getting to something like
Josh,
this.
put on this helmet, and then she just gets another girl in the room to jerk him off.
It's his own.
So
hand.
how was it, Josh? Was it good or?
Dutch
It's always
rudder.
good, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Spartan is disturbed by it. He's just
Weird.
seeing
I was disturbed by it.
yeah, it's odd. And I'm like,
Weird
wow.
images of her like, are you jacking yourself off? Like, how do you
Yeah,
get off?
yeah. Maybe you're just supposed to hands-free cum. I don't know. So he's disturbed by it. He's like, let's just have sex the old-fashioned way. And she's like, oh, exchanging fluids? That's disgusting. And then she mentions that real sex and even kissing have been banned
Oh man.
due to all the diseases. She was like, first there was AIDS, then there was CAIDS, and then FAIDS, and
Super AIDS.
Super AIDS.
Imagine. She's like, then there's the coronavirus, and then wait a minute.
Right. She also mentions that children are created in the lab.
Yeah.
So everyone's just jerking off into cups, I guess.
Right.
And then Spartan tries to kiss her for real, but she's so offended that she tells him to leave.
Remember, abortions are illegal
Right,
in this world.
right.
So they went there. But
did.
so is pregnancy, apparently.
Well, why would you need it?
Yeah,
if
you have to get a license.
Can't get surprise.
You have to get a
pregnancies?
license to get pregnant, right? She
Right.
said something like
Come
that.
on, all the Dennis Leary's people are banging underground, right?
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah.
What if they want to come
Like
out?
fucking rats. Oh, wow.
They're having rat babies down there.
Rat baby.
Rat babies, shit babies. So then Spartan pops in a small DVD, and a naked woman just pops up on the screen because they were like, well, we need some tits in this movie.
That's right.
It's rated R.
It's a '90s. It's action.
And you guys are gonna see a lot of balls and taints later, so we gotta
Yeah.
give you a naked woman for 2 seconds.
And it's crazy to he's got blue balls and everything, and I guess to get his frustration out, he just starts to knit.
He knits. He
knits.
fucking knits. And he also watches Simon being mind controlled by the mayor. And the next morning, Spartan gave Huxley a sweater that he knitted. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I was like, that's a present you give your daughter. I mean,
Okay.
I'm just saying. So then Huxley finds out that the mayor programmed Simon Phoenix to kill for his rehabilitation program. So Spartan goes to the mayor's office, shoots most of his FaceTime videos.
Yeah.
And then he finds where the mayor is and he holds a gun to his head. And the mayor orders Huxley to arrest Spartan and freeze him again. He's like, be well. And Spartan's like, be fucked. Bam! and he shoots the machine that finds you for cursing. And then
fucked.
the fat guy from Beetlejuice is so offended that he faints. So dumb. And then later, Spartan's like telling Huxley like the plan, we got to go get Simon. She's like, yeah, let's go blow this guy. And he's like, blow up this guy.
Oh, that's right. Earlier she says, lick his ass.
Yeah.
He's like,
Kick his ass.
well, I mean,
Stupid bitch.
maybe.
She's just,
Save that thought.
so close to so many of these lines.
Yeah.
And if she's a historian, why doesn't she actually know him? She knows everything else. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's kind of
Yeah.
weird.
So they go into the sewers where all the poor people live. Spartan pays for a burger with Huxley's watch. And he thinks the burger tastes great, but the vendor tells him it's made from rats. Yeah.
And they only speak.
That's hilarious. That's such good shit.
When Aaron and I were watching, I was like, oh, it's a shit burger, right?
Yeah.
They just take a shit and then they give it to you.
Right.
And he's
And
like,
like-
no, it's made from rats.
90% of the people underground speak Spanish.
That's good rat.
I guess.
That's racist.
No, that's
I know,
what it
but
was.
this movie's kind of racist.
Well, only Josh is
very
allowed to say
strange.
that.
It's Dennis Leary and a bunch of Hispanic people.
Oh, you didn't have.
And
You didn't,
Darius Leary is the leader of the Mexicans, I guess.
I don't think you mentioned when Simon walks into the museum and there's like a bunch of Asian people pass him and he's like, "Oh, take down,
Oh my God! Yes.
You're just like, oh my god,
Oh, that's
it wasn't even
awful.
necessary.
That's what's
No, good.
so awesome about the 90s. Dennis Leary, savior of the Mexican people.
You know what? That's true because Benjamin Bratt, Hispanic, joins the rebels, the Mexicans.
Oh, boy.
Wow. This is
boy.
a subplot I did not see.
You can't make this movie today.
Here we go.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
So then Edgar Friendly gets the jump on them, holds them at gunpoint, and then Edgar does a Dennis Leary rant, like straight from his No Cure for Cancer comedy special.
Okay.
He's like, I want to eat carbs and get cancer and then die. Like, you know?
Apparently, this was all rewritten once he was cast.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, they're like, just go.
Yeah, they didn't
We'll let
write
you know
anything.
when.
for it, yeah.
I'm gonna smoke cigarettes, okay? I'm gonna eat whatever I want. I want
And
rat.
like, No Cure for Cancer, I think, dropped like the same year.
Oh, really?
Like that album,
That would be
No
cool.
Cure for Cancer, 92.
Before, yeah, it makes sense.
So right before.
Yeah, it makes
So,
sense.
so Stallone's like, that guy's funny.
I'm an asshole.
Like, sir, but Bill Hicks did it in 1991.
Yeah.
He's like, what?
81.
Don't worry about that. Yeah. So then Simon gives his men a big speech how they're going to kill the mayor and John Spartan. And then one of Simon's henchmen was Jesse Ventura,
Yes.
who just laughs. He's in 2 really quick scenes in this movie. He's in the intro credits.
Right. When you saw
Jesse Ventura. Yes.
and when you're like, oh,
I
fuck.
was like, oh my God.
Yes.
And he's barely in the movie. How did he get on the credits? You know what I think it was? Because just like the Arnold thing, Stallone said he hated Arnold. So he's like, I'm going to get one of Arnold's boys and put him in my movie.
Oh, my God. And fuck him.
And fucking, because like, you know, Ventura was already in Predator. He was already in Running Man, you know?
Yeah.
So Stallone's like, I'm going to get one of Arnold's boys. Fuck you, Arnold. You know?
Imagine him on set, like talking to these guys. He's like, you know, someday this is this is what life's gonna be like. Trust me.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna tell everyone a few years before, and then they're gonna threaten me, and I'm gonna go into hiding in the mountains of Minnesota. Right? Isn't that what he's doing? Like he disappeared.
He lives in Mexico.
Yeah.
I'm off the grid.
I'm off the grid.
Half the year I live in Mexico and I'm off the grid.
And he killed the mayor, right?
Yes, later he does.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
The mayor did that. So Simon unleashes an attack on Spartan in the sewer, but Simon leaves and he steals Huxley's cop car.
Yeah.
And then Spartan gets in Edgar's car and uses an elevator to explode through the floor of a fucking dealership.
Yes. Of course.
It's a fucking badass scene.
Yes.
And then we have a car chase. Spartan jumps on the cop car and ends up throwing Simon out. However, the car's fucked and won't stop on his command, and he crashes into a pond. But instead of an airbag, white foam fills up the car.
Yeah.
And then Stallone gets out and he goes, his car turned into a cannoli. And like,
And I guess you
come
just-
on,
He's being racist
if you're
against
gonna
himself.
if you're gonna be silly and funny, he should have like had some of it in his mouth. What are you doing? I thought it was regat.
I thought it was regards and cheese. I guess you just suffocate too.
I thought
if you
I'd
get
have
into an accident. Filled up the
And
entire
like it's
car.
so hard. Like that's
Yeah.
safe.
Yeah.
Like what
It
happens
freezes
if,
you, I think.
yeah, like what happens if your mouth is open? That fills your lungs up.
Oh, you're done.
You're done.
You're dead.
You get into an
But I
accident and you're like
eat
this.
my way out.
You're supposed to, You're
Yeah.
fucked. Eat my way out of the accident.
So Spartan teams up with Edgar and his men, and the police chief yells, "Oh, you can't use these weapons of mass destruction!" And Dennis Leary's like, "I use this gun to buy groceries."
Yeah.
What are you talking about? And the chief says Spartan's under arrest, but of course he doesn't care. And then Huxley tells the chief, "You could take this job and shovel it." And then Stallone's like, "Close enough."
Close enough.
Jesus. And then Simon and his men show up to the mayor's house, and that's where Jesse Ventura shoots the mayor to death, and they throw him in
Well,
the
doesn't he go?
fireplace.
He goes, "You can't kill me," and he goes, "Yeah, but he can."
Right, yeah.
Shoot him. Yeah, exactly. It's great.
It's awesome.
You didn't think about that, did you? Then,
Right. And then Simon and Huxley show up, and they fight some of Simon's men, and Huxley shoots one of them to death, and it's a big moment for her. She's like, "That man died at my hands," and he's like,
Wasn't it great?
"Yeah, right."
Pretty
Ship
awesome.
off
Huh?
the old block.
How horny are you right now? On a scale of 1 to holy fuck.
You want to fuck for real yet? So then Huxley finds that 80 more violent criminals are going to be defrosted within the hour.
Oh boy.
And then Spartan tases Huxley, and she falls asleep. I guess he just doesn't want her to get hurt.
Yeah.
You know?
Just save her. Save her.
Yeah. And then cut to Simon yelling, Jeffrey Dahmer, I love that guy. Oh, we got to get him. We got to thaw him out.
Oh
It's
my
like,
God.
holy shit, man.
Jesus.
And then they have another shootout. But Simon catches Spartan in like the giant claw machine that takes the criminals out of the cryo prison. And then he's about to drop Spartan to his death, but Spartan breaks free. Simon shoots at Spartan with basically a proton pack.
Yeah.
It's just like
a phaser
straight
gun.
up from some Ghostbusters.
right.
Like, don't cross the streams, bro. So they have one last fist fight. Simon was about to stab Spartan to death, but Spartan grabbed something, and like they didn't really establish what this thing was beforehand, right?
Right.
They should have done at least a better job explaining what that was.
Correct. Yeah.
None of us knew, right? They didn't explain it.
No, it was just
The magic glow stick. It does everything.
It's the little blue ball that freezes everything.
Sure.
Sure. I mean,
that's all you
I
need.
think they
It's
dropped
90s.
it 1 second early, like in the beginning of the movie.
Right.
Now you're supposed to
okay.
remember that.
Right.
Victor Freeze technology.
Yeah, Victor Freeze.
So Spartan just like slams on
Chill.
the floor. It freezes the floor, and Spartan jumps so it doesn't freeze him. And then Simon freezes completely, and then Spartan kicks his head off.
Yeah, now he kills him. Now he doesn't say,
Put him back in the frozen.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
now he kills him. All
Yeah.
right.
And then the cryo prison blows up. Once again, Spartan walks out unscathed. Like a little cut here on his
Yeah.
face. That's it.
All that for a drop of blood.
Right.
And then the Shawshank police chief is like, what will we do? How will we live?
Yeah.
And Edgar says, we go get shit-faced.
Yeah.
And it's funny because there's a South Park episode where someone says this, and I never knew that they were like just quoting Demolition Man.
Oh, that's funny.
Because the line is so silly. Because like literally someone in South Park's like, what will we do? How will we live? It's just like that. I'm like, oh my God. I don't remember what South Park episode it was, but yeah, like immediately I thought of that.
Yeah.
So that was hilarious. And then the fat guy from Beetlejuice.
Why is he still around?
I know, I was like, why
didn't he get killed?
Why does he get to live?
Yeah. Right.
He's just like, do you want some help? And Edgar's like, yeah, you can come blow me. I don't know. Like,
He's like everyone's assistant because he was Simon's assistant too for
yeah,
like
what does
a
Edgar
little
need
bit.
him for?
It's very strange.
He's
I
going
don't
to eat
know.
all the food.
That guy's totally on
That's
BJ duty.
amazing.
It's fucking crazy.
Well,
And then
no,
finally-
he's totally
Come on, I guess
becoming
you can blow me. Come on.
Yeah.
he's totally becoming hamburgers soon for sure.
Right. I mean, he's like the only, like, he's like the one guy from the 90s where I'm just like, ugh, I don't need to see that guy.
Yeah.
He's just dumb.
Right.
Yeah.
He's just too dumb. Then finally, Spartan grabs Huxley and kisses her, and he's like, what do you think of that? And she's like, what do you think of this? And then she aggressively kisses him back.
Right before it.
Yeah, and then he finds out it's his daughter, and it's just like, what the fuck? Oh, sorry, no. Then they walk off together, just like every 90s movie where they walk off, and he's like, now I just got to figure out how to shit in those seashells.
She shows.
Now I got to figure out how to use those 2 seashells to get the shit out of my asshole.
And as he's walking away, you hear her say something. He's like,
What do you mean you pinch him off? What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. But yeah, I love this movie. It was really great.
it's so much fun.
I would watch it over and over again.
You want some quick facts?
Yes.
So Snipes hated the blonde dye job. So as soon as the movie was over, he shaved his head. But apparently this is why Dennis Rodman started doing it. He started doing it right after this movie.
Shit.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then let's see.
I mean, if anyone's going to play
told you about
Dennis Rodman in a movie, it would have been Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, right. Let's see. Rob Schneider became really good friends with Sandra Bullock during this movie, and he told her not to do that silly bus movie the next year. That obviously became
Smart guy.
Speed. Yeah,
That's a guy you should listen to for career advice.
yeah, that's right.
Don't you just blow Adam Sandler every 6 months?
Yeah, right. Apparently, Lori Petty shot a few days as the Sandra Bullock character.
Who's Lori Petty?
She was so big. Remember in Bodie, you're breaking your Point Break?
I never saw
She was
it.
the girl. Oh, that's right. You haven't
She
seen
was
that.
in. She was.
Tank Girl. She was in a few things.
Oh, she's Tank Girl?
She,
Yeah,
she
she's
was
Tank
the
Girl.
little. She was Gina Davis's little sister.
Little sister, A League of Their Own.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but she was just really big back then.
And
But
what
I mean,
happened? They just didn't.
creative differences is why she left.
It was probably the virtual fuck scene. All right, we're going to film the virtual fuck scene. Nah, I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah. According to Darius Leary, what Snipes insisted on doing his own action scenes, and then after he finished his scenes is left, the crew would reshoot them with stunt people. That's amazing if that's true.
That'd be great if like Wesley Snipes still doesn't know, and he's like showing people the movies. Like, you see that scene where I jumped? Yeah, I did that. That was me.
Yeah.
Well, I did see that people were complaining that the choreography for Snipes looked so strange, and that was because he was doing it so quickly.
Yeah,
and that no one could keep up with his speed. Apparently.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody want to guess? So a body count. Who wants to guess body count?
Over 100.
Give me a number. Just give me a number. Everybody give me a number.
105.
Okay.
90.
90.
50.
72.
Oh, okay.
72. So you guys are a little over the board on that one.
Right.
Dennis Leary called this movie a giant piece of shit. I think it's amazing.
Well, I completely disagree.
Wholeheartedly.
Couldn't
He
be
probably
more
says
wrong.
that about all of his movies.
Probably. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, he was in Operation Dumbo Drop. That was a piece of shit movie.
Oh
Yeah,
my
fuck
God.
you, Larry.
Yeah. And apparently, let's see. Yeah, I don't know. Sandra Bullock considered Stallone like her big brother. Like they got really close, but like not romantically, which is surprising.
Yeah.
For Sly, but that's it. Yeah.
Nice. Ratings?
Well, before we get to ratings, I just want to go over the 10 quick things that they got right about this movie.
Okay.
So Arnold's political career, they got right.
That's
Yeah.
true. They nailed that.
The rise of video calling,
Sure.
they got that right.
FaceTime.
Yeah.
Self-driving cars,
Yep.
also a check. Taco Bell winning the franchise war, maybe.
I mean, okay. There's other restaurants, but sure.
Wesley Snipes is a criminal. That's kind of correct. Teleconferences, because they had all those teleconference scenes.
Yes.
Biometric implants, which is starting to come up
Elon
nowadays.
Musk is starting to do
Right,
that.
yes. Tablet computers.
You should probably do that, Josh. I think it would help.
I don't think so. Voice activated appliances.
Yeah.
Got that right. And lastly, YouTube instructional videos.
That's true.
Nice. That's all we do.
hilarious.
That's all we use now.
But I'm giving this one a solid 8.5.
Okay.
It's so fun.
It's a 9 for me.
I was going to say 9.
Yeah,
I love
9.
this movie.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot you can improve here.
No, it's so much fun.
So much
It's
fun.
just so much fun. Like, how many times do you watch a movie where like the entire time was fun? They're dragging these movies out. What was the runtime of this?
Like 155.
Yeah, like that's
Just under 2 hours.
That's how it should be.
It's perfect.
You know how many days this movie spanned? It's just 2 days. This whole movie
Yeah,
was 2
okay.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, just 2 days? Wow,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
If you don't count the
40 years or whatever.
Yes.
I mean, this movie is a cross between Total Recall and Face Off. Like, you know
Kind
what I
of,
mean?
yeah.
It's like you combine both those movies.
Yeah.
I feel like one of the differences between Stallone and Schwarzenegger is Schwarzenegger's movies, they were a little funnier. They had some more jokes. Stallone was usually a little more serious, but this,
Sure.
But this one-
this one was the fun
Oh,
one.
Stallone's never been funnier for any, you know what I mean? To me,
Yes,
at least.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great.
It was really good. So yeah, let's do fan questions. Let me pull it up right here. Hold it
Right. Yeah.
right here. Here we go.
And begin.
Bill Capri, Josh is the type of guy to tell his Kadita, I was wondering if you'd like to have sex.
Correct. Confirmed.
Do you do that?
Funny story. So I told Kadita I had to watch this movie last night, and she was like, Demolition Man? I've actually seen that like 10 times. I was like, what? Apparently,
She's a keeper then, Josh.
she is a keeper. But apparently, her grandma, whenever she would go over, this was one of the only movies they had at her house. So whenever they wanted to watch something on TV, they would just watch this on VHS.
That's awesome. You know, my Kadita is a huge Sandra Bullock fan, so I have to ask her like, you know, later, like, hey, have you seen Demolition Man? And if not, she's definitely
Interesting.
gonna want to see it.
Oh yeah.
He also says, what item from the Taco Bell menu would you eat for the rest of your lives? I
man.
guess if you had to.
The cheesy, crunchy gordita is the
Yeah.
best thing ever.
Well, I'm
I
a big
love
fan of the Dorito taco. That's great.
that. Nice.
Dorito Locos Taco.
I'd go with the double decker taco. R.I.P.
They don't have any.
Not on,
Yeah,
not on the menu anymore.
No, Aaron. If I can go to anything ever, the double decker taco supreme, greatest thing ever. Greatest thing ever.
And I don't eat Taco Bell, so. All right, Steven with a...
I wish.
You're just jealous because it makes your asshole explode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. Steven, I mean, we're in Houston. You get any fucking Hispanic food you want, any Mexican food. Steven with a V, how do you think the 3 seashells work? Do you use 2 to wipe your ass and the 3rd
Well, yeah, we covered
to
that.
scrape them off? If you enjoyed this, I recommend Fifth Element. That's another movie I haven't seen.
Fifth Element is amazing. So much fun.
For this,
I also haven't
it's
seen
fun,
Fifth
but
Element.
it's like this like, and you're tripping on fucking mushrooms.
Right.
It's
And
so
it's
good.
Bruce
I mean, we
Willis,
did Arnold,
right?
then we did
Multi-pass.
Stallone, and then Bruce Willis is next.
But we'll just do the whole Planet Hollywood crew.
Bruce
Then we'll go
Willis
eat at
and
Planet Hollywood.
Chris
No.
Rock, right?
What?
Chris Rock and Bruce Willis
Or what?
in Fifth Element,
Not
right?
Chris Rock.
Now it's Chris Rock.
Who is it?
Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker.
Yeah. Nice one, racist. All right, Rizzler, who would you have thought a 30-year-old Stallone and Snipes movie could have predicted the future? USA, Canada has become such a woke-ass soft as baby shit society, just like they depicted society will become in Demolition Man. Side note, Simon Phoenix couldn't have been casted any more perfect. That's true.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's the MVP of this movie.
Great.
PCJ, I felt like this film was combining several universes. We have a Schwarzenegger presidential library, and in the film Last Action Hero, they have the T2 cutout inside Blockbuster, but with Stallone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, the police captain in the beginning was the one from Lethal Weapon, and damn, the way they toss the corpse into the fireplace is some morbid shit. Yeah, it is. It was good. Tim, listen up, fans of the hogwash. Thanksgiving is the best low-budget movie ever. Maybe Andrew could pitch this movie more. I mean, I think it'd be cool for Thanksgiving week. We do Thanksgiving.
Oh, the one that just is coming out? It looks good.
No. Thanksgiving. This was like, God, I don't know, 10 years ago.
Oh.
It's
yeah,
about
that's right.
a killer turkey. It's one of my favorite movies. It's one of the funniest. I mean, Aaron's seen it.
Half
He knows.
half of this show has seen it. Yes.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Dylan, does this mean Over the Top is next? Big movie from my childhood, such a classic.
Was that the arm wrestling movie?
Yeah. You can't watch Demolition Man then watch Over the Top.
No, that's
It's like
you gotta-
realistic. It's hilarious.
I mean,
it's great, but you
Yeah.
I think Point Break's got to be up sometime soon, right?
gotta be up soon. Point Break. But just let me make sure I watch that with you.
Sure.
We were
I
talking
wanted to watch
about
this with you, but it didn't work out. But like, I want to watch Point Break with you. It's so great.
Joe and I were trying to push Point Break like over the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It's
Well, it
so
took
good.
2 years for me to agree to do Demolition Man.
Yeah,
can
but that's
take-
Josh.
That's Josh. Yeah, I didn't trust Josh.
Yeah.
We can each like take turns, like every week someone chooses
Pick
a
some,
movie.
yeah,
You know,
sure.
that'd be cool.
I don't know. I'm on a little bit of a streak. I mean, come on now.
You are.
A little bit of a hot streak.
Maybe you should stop while you're
one is a streak.
quit while you're at it. Yeah.
Josh's streaks are one.
Yeah. So that's all for fan questions. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Hollywood Hog Pod. And become a supporter of the show at patreon.com/Hollywood Hogwash. Again, we're finishing up Loki and then moving on to season 2 of Invincible. Sweet. So we'll see you there, and
Simon says, go watch this movie.
Be well.
be fucked.